whole world was wrong about you. They're coming for you.
I'm not the one that needs to watch their back.
This doesn't have to end in a fight, Tony. You just started a war. Stay down. Final warning. I could do this all day.
Captain America Civil War is finally out. I waited such a long time for this film, guys. And I'm kidding, the film was absolutely incredible. I mean, surpassed what I thought the Russo brothers could have done with this film. I absolutely loved Winter Soldier. Possibly my favourite Marvel film, apart from the very first Avengers, is between those two. But to be honest, guys, this might very well be my favourite Marvel film. It was just everything I wanted it to be. But before we go into it, I just want to get into it. There's not going to be any spoilers for this. It's very much just my thoughts for it. I know the film it's out a week before the Americans get it, which is kind of strange considering it's called Captain America. Over us in the UK get it a whole week before. Now, if you don't know the plot of this film, if you haven't read the comics or anything, or you've just been staying away from it, you don't know what's going on, basically it's Captain America against Iron Man. That's basically the plot of this film. But at the start of the film, Captain America takes a few Avengers on a mission. The mission goes bad, and then basically the government brings in the Secretary of State, General Ross. I know him from the Incredible Hulk film with Edward Norton. Really good film as well, by the way. He hasn't been seen since then, but they've drafted him in for this one, and he's basically said that the Avengers have gone unchecked all this time. They go through with all the destruction from New York in the Avengers film. They go through DC in Winter Soldier, and I think it's the Russian city over in Age of Ultron, and they show all the destruction, all the death and mayhem, and that's kind of like the theme. Whereas the theme in Batman vs Superman was all the destruction in the one city that Superman caused, this is like a collection of city, different countries and everything, and people suffered, and that's like the theme of this film. There is an ulterior motive, it's kind of like revenge with this other guy, but leave that basic. The main plot here is Captain America versus Iron Man. Captain America is totally against the thing that Avengers need to be brought into check. He thinks that's completely against it, like freedom of speech, free will and everything. That's very much his core ideas. But on the other hand, Iron Man, with everything that happened with Ultron, he created Ultron, and it was his fault the whole movie Ultron, Age of Ultron happened. So he's very much for bringing them into check. And then you've got two powers here, two very stubborn, very, very stubborn people just butting heads, and that's basically the core of this film. Now, this isn't your traditional superhero film, guys. This is very much a grounded film. It's pretty much a story about two friends. You've got Captain America and Bucky, also known as the Winter Soldier. And forget about everything else. Forget about the whole, you've got all these... If you've seen the trailer at the end, you know they all come to a head and they all just attacking each other. But it is very much a grounded, personal story, which I really liked. Some people might not like that. They like the whole big bad. You've got like Loki in the first one, Avengers, or you've got Ultron, and then you'll have Thanos in the Justice League. In the Infinity War, I should say. It's so many, hard to keep fucking track of. But it's a really grounded story, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was something completely different. I know the Russo brothers, they kind of made it grounded and personal, kind of political with the Winter Soldier, and keep going back to Batman vs Superman, but they are kind of similar. I know DC Marvel, but it did feel, as I said in my review, style over substance in Batman vs Superman, but this is very much the other way around. This is what I wanted, a big superhero film with a lot of superheroes in it. They all get their moment. I mean, let me just rattle off some of the names that are in this film. You've got Captain America, Iron Man, Bucky, Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Vision, War Machine, Ant-Man, Falcon, Black Panther, and Spider-Man. That's a lot of people. I'll get on Spider-Man in a minute, but that's a lot of people. It's basically everyone apart from Hulk and Thor, and I'll cover those two at the end, because I don't think, if they were in the film, I don't think the film would have worked. It's a very grounded story. Those two are probably the most powerful, overpowered. The one's a god, the one is a complete superhuman. I personally don't think they would have fit in with the action and the story, but it would have been cool to see. But I mean, I think they're being saved. Well, Thor and Hulk, I think they're being saved for Thor Ragnarok. I'm not sure if Hulk is in Thor Ragnarok, but yeah, they weren't in this film. They weren't in this film, so don't go in thinking that they are. It's not much of a spoiler because they're not in any of the trailers. They're just not in this film. But there's so many people in it, it would have felt overbloated. But they all get their moment in this film. They all have their moment to shine. I mean, Black Panther, really cool introduction. I'm looking forward to seeing his film. I'm not sure when it's coming out, the next couple of years, I'd imagine. But there's so many to come out, it's so hard to keep track of. But I did like his. I like the actor who portrayed him as well. I haven't seen anything before, but I thought he played the character very well. I liked his suit, really cool suit, and he had an air about him as well. But Spider-Man, probably my favourite part of this film. He's in it for around half an hour, say around half an hour or so, but the film's 2.5 hours long, but he's in it for half an hour and easily my favourite part of the film. The suit looked a bit CGI at times, but apart from that, he was incredible. Tom Holland, I can't wait. Probably the thing I'm most looking forward to I took out of this film, can't wait to see Spider-Man Homecoming. I've seen the logo, it's very old school, very comics, kind of reminds me of like the Amazing Spider-Man comics and the animated series, which I'm really glad the whole other ones before when they rebooted it with Andrew Garfield was basically the same font and logo as the ones with Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi. But this one looks really good, and it's confirmed that Downey Jr. is going to be in the film with him, and they had a very good bond in this film. Obviously, Spider-Man is on Iron Man's team, all for bringing people in, and they should answer for what their responsibilities are, consequences, actions have consequences and all that. But really good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with Spider-Man in the next film with Iron Man in it. But yeah, back to the plot of the film. The filmmakers, they give very valid points for both sides, why they should and why they shouldn't sign the bill that would, in fact, tag them to the government, and they'd have to answer for their actions. They wouldn't be able to go and do their own thing. If they say there's something over there, over this country, this rebel, we need to go and stop him, the government may very well say, oh no, you can't, you need it over here, and they'd have to abide by that, and they'd have to follow their orders. And it does give both sides. And as I went in, as you can see, Captain America shirt, I was probably very much for Team Cap, but it does swing back and forth. And when they're making the points, I was like, oh, he has a valid point. I was kind of tied between Iron Man, Captain America, Iron Man, Captain America, and as they say, like, oh, what team will you be on? Team Iron Man. Who will win? Who will win? The fans win. The audience win in this film. The film was incredible. I mean, no matter who you side with, it was unbelievable. And going into this film, I wasn't sure like how much screen time it would be, and because the leading up to the trailers, it's very much a very dark story, and it is very dark. But there's a lot of comedy elements in There's a lot of comedy elements in this film as well. I mean, where Batman and Superman again, they fell flat, I found, because they're not comedy characters. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, not comedy, but you have so much charisma in this film. You got Spider-Man. He was just Spider-Man as he should have been. I mean, I kind of thought they kind of got onto something with Andrew Garfield, but then they just went totally romance side on the second one and totally killed it, I thought. But he was cracking jokes as he was swinging around and all, and beating people up. There's even one scene when he's fighting Falcon, and Falcon's like, I'm not sure if you've been in a fight before, but there's usually not this much talking. It's just Spider-Man down to a T, and it was brilliant, and it was exactly what I wanted from Spider-Man. Iron Man, Downey Jr., he is Iron Man personified. He's charisma personified. Charisma in a suit. Ant-Man's in this film. Funny. They're all funny, and even though it was dark and it was a very serious matter, strange seeing the two heroes fighting against each other, because there's not a main villain in this film, as I said earlier. It's just those two going at it, and that's what I enjoyed. It was a very personal story, and I think the film really benefited from it, because you get all these films now, Batman and Superman again, you got these villains in there. Lex Luthor didn't really hit. Doomsday, very disappointing, but they brought it grounded, personal level. Got all these characters which you've watched from films, must be a dozen films now altogether, that they've all been in and all together, and just see them fight, and you could really feel their plight, and you could see it from both sides as well. And yeah, as I said, it wasn't a superhero film. It felt more of a fugitive film. You got Bucky on the run, and you've got Captain America trying to chase him before Iron Man gets to him. And it's very much a fugitive. It reminded me of the film The Fugitive, and which was strange comparing The Fugitive to Captain America, but that's what it felt like. And you've got to give the Russo brothers credit for that, because they totally changed tact with it, with a traditional superhero film like Avengers or Batman vs Superman, and I've got to applaud them for that, because I thought they did a brilliant job. But yeah, this isn't Iron Man 3, it's not Avengers 2.5, this is very much Captain America 3. Captain America is the lead in this film. You might be thinking from the trailers it's going to be Captain America and Iron Man going to get equals shared time, screen time and story time, but it's not. Iron Man is in this film quite a lot, but it's not Iron Man's film. It's Captain America's film and his relationship with Bucky and what he will do for his friend, and he's so determined and set about in his ways. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's just who Captain America is. I mean, as he said, like, it's just all about his friend. He says he's his friend and everything. And that's Captain America in a nutshell. And it's the complete opposite of Iron Man. Iron Man is very much about himself, not about other people. But he is starting to turn around in his ways, and it'd be interesting to see what that'll be like in Infinity War. But yeah, the story was very good. But as I said with Batman vs Superman, style over substance, this was very much the other way around. It was quite a lot of story, and when the set pieces and the action happened, it felt tied to it. It wasn't just there like we've got all these characters. Like they could have easily just been like, we've got so many of these characters, we basically got all the Avengers bar one or two, we can just have 2.5 hours of just constant action. But it would, like, I felt with some other films, they just pound you over the head with it, and it just doesn't feel special anymore when the action happens in this film, because it's so, not so much sparse. There is a lot of action in this film, not as much as some people might expect, mind, considering there's all these superheroes. It felt worthwhile and it felt warranted. And exactly when watching like the first Avengers film, seeing all them come together for the first time, it kind of gave you that feeling as well, having so many Avengers on screen, just a different take on it. It wasn't just this big bad earth-shattering event. It was a very personal story, which was different. And I keep going back to personal story, difference and everything, but that's what I took away from this film. Spider-Man was incredible. Ant-Man was really funny. Steve Rogers, I mean, Chris Evans as Captain America. He is Captain America. I was watching this film and I was like, no one else could be Captain America, honestly. He is considering after what happened with Fantastic Four, same with Ryan Reynolds with Green Lantern and Deadpool. It's very rare that they go on to a different superhero. Normally, if it doesn't work out, that's it, they're done. But I mean, Chris Evans really has redeemed himself, and he's made the character his own, and he was incredible in this film, because it is Captain America 3. I mean, it's his name in the title. It's not Iron Man, it's Captain America. He was really, really good, guys. Now let's talk about the fight scenes. Now, obviously with Winter Soldier, you know that the fight scenes, they are really good. They're kind of like the Bourne films, how they're filmed. I mean, the Russo brothers, they really know how to film fight scenes. There's quite a lot of fist fights in this scene. I know you've got people who fly around. You've got like Iron Man, War Machine, Vision, and everyone. You've got Falcon. But there's quite a lot of fist fighting in this film. And they kind of just like get right in with the nitty gritty. And it's very brutal. It's very intense. It's up close. And there's not really much shaky cam. They kind of keep it steady for the most of the ways. You can see what's going on. Because it's nothing worse when there's a lot of shaky cam going on. And you can't see what the hell's going on. I mean, it's like coming up and they're like, you can't see what's going on. But it was really good. It was really, really good. I mean, the whole film... I'm trying to think if I've got any negatives about the film. I mean... Not really. I mean, it would have been cool to see Thor and Hulk, but as I said before, they probably would have not fit in with the film and the overall tone of it, and it probably would have been a bit unbalanced. I mean, which side would they have been on? That's probably my own thing. It would have been nice to see which sides they would have gone on. Would they both gone on the same side? Probably not, because that would have been completely unfair to the other side, having Thor and Hulk on the one team. They probably would have been on one each, but... it's going to come up again. This film is going to have repercussions. It's going to reverberate throughout the entire the rest of the films now. It may come up in Thor Ragnarok, but it'll probably go on to Infinity War now. And it'd be interesting to see where that goes, because, as I said, what happened, there was kind of another ulterior thing going on with this film besides the whole internal struggle with the Avengers, which will go on to Infinity War. I won't go into it because it looks like it could be quite big. But yeah, guys, this film was everything I wanted and more. It felt a little bit long at times. My ass did get a little bit numb near the end, but I mean, it was all together with adverts. It was around 3 hours, so I mean, that's what I was coming to expect it. But I didn't really look at my watch that much, and that's when that's when you know you've had a good time. With some films, they could be on for an hour and a half, and this felt like it wasn't on for that long. I mean, as I said, it did get a bit numb near the end, but it didn't feel like it. I didn't want it to end, and it just kept going. And I thought when it was going to end, it kept on going another half an hour. Some people might not like that, but I absolutely loved it. And I really look forward to seeing Infinity War now, Part 1. I mean, going to be in it. It's going to be like basically everyone. Every single Marvel character that's come out since the very first Iron Man is going to be in it. And they're going to be spread over 2 films against Thanos. And I think the Russo brothers are directing those 2 films as well, because Joss Whedon, he said after Age of Ultron, that's it and done. So it'll be interesting to see how the Russo brothers take on these super-powered beings now, with like Thanos, with Hulk, with Thor, because so far they've done an incredible job. Because in Winter Soldier, they just had a very small collection, and now with Civil War, they've upped the ante and they've handled it perfectly. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they do it. But main takeaway from this film was absolutely incredible. Can't wait to see Spider-Man Homecoming now next year with Tony Stark and Peter Parker. But yeah, guys, absolutely love this film. Probably my favourite Marvel film. Possibly. Definitely top two. Definitely top two. But it needs another viewing. Just incredible. But guys, that's me. I'm out. See ya.
Sorry, Tony. You know I wouldn't do this if I had any other choice. But he's my friend. So was I.